other school districts in Washtenaw County by encouraging the exploration of opportunities for consolidating services by supporting all viable options. Further, be it resolved that the Willow Run Board of Education agrees to meet jointly with the Ypsilanti Board of Education for the purpose of identifying areas of consolidation and shared public school services in order to provide a high-quality education for all students in our community. Somebody better second
Support.
What? It has been moved and supported that the Willow Run Community Schools Board of Education adopt the following resolution concerning consolidation and shared public school services. Discussion.
Why are we singling out Ypsilanti Board of Education for meeting with? Why wouldn't we also meet with Lincoln and some other school districts that aren't in as bad financial shape as Ypsilanti?
I was going to bring up the same point. I think that what we started with the ISD and with Ann Arbor so far needs further investigation based on what we've been hearing at the WISD breakfast, the legislative breakfast. It would appear to be that the state is moving harder and harder toward countywide consolidations. And if we limit ourselves just to IPSI right now, you know, we're going to be looking at merging with Ann Arbor and the ISD sometime in the future anyways. Maybe we should look at everybody.
We are continuing to work with the ISD and consider all consolidation of as many services as possible. In fact, there are some ongoing things that I think you received in the update talking about human resources, software, and other things as well. As far as Ypsilanti, and I know that Don will be speaking next on it, but they are the ones that we have been in conversation with that have been the most eager and willing to talk more about consolidation. We have been trying to bring Lincoln along, and they have new leadership over there, and they also they're just not as interested as they were with their last superintendent, but we're continuing to invite them to the table. It's up to them whether or not they want to come.
And that doesn't mean that we can't do another resolution to go with each district as we begin speaking with them.
That's correct, and you've had resolutions like this in the past. But it said neighboring school districts, not specifically Ypsilanti, correct?
But anyway, to put it out there, Ypsilanti's board and superintendent realizing that we're both in critical states, realizing that there's some way that we can help one another out, at the same time, better education for the kids. And so being in the situation that we're in, we were willing to listen, we were willing to talk. Both sides seemed pretty agreeable at the things we're doing. No, we didn't. No, we haven't singled out or eliminated Lincoln, like Mrs. Sissy said. Lincoln really wants to be Lincoln right now, the new administration. But since IPSI, and like it's been talked about in the past, previous boards, we've been pretty much just mending fences and trying to work together to see what's best for both districts.
Maybe this shouldn't be, that specific thing shouldn't be part of this resolution. You know, maybe it should be a separate resolution that you really have the boards meet together.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Because the reason that it's specific to Ypsilanti is because there is going to be, or that the presidents want a joint meeting with the two districts, so they narrowed it to, say, Willow Run and Ypsilanti in this resolution, but I wasn't sure.
I say, why have it in this resolution? Why not have this resolution stand on its own and then have a little vote to meet with the Ypsilanti board?
It's kind of my impression that this resolution came to a public meeting to kind of squash rumors that the two school board presidents were meeting and doing the various things. And probably, I'm sorry, I was trying to be.
No, go ahead.
Go there.
Go ahead.
There was some rumor that there was
some secret meetings going on, and that this was an attempt to say, no, there's nothing secret about this. And we had some preliminary talks, and now we're at the point where
Yeah.
maybe we ought to get everybody sitting down and talk about this very much.
And that's fine, but I just question why it would be part of this resolution here. You know, to me, this resolution really goes to the heart of meeting with the ISD and trying to get everybody together. And then we have this little add-on, Willow Run Board's going to be with IPSI. You know, it just doesn't seem to fit.
I thought it was kind of starting with Willow Run and IPSI, and then somehow the ISD was the third party to join the conversation. The idea was to kind of make this there's nothing secret about it.
And that's kind of what's been happening with every service that we've been consolidating. It turns out that, yes, everyone in the county is welcome to join, but there's been a smaller group that has actually then put their hats in the ring and actually followed through with it. And then others know that they have the opportunity to join at a later date. They might not be in the ground level, but they do have the opportunity to join. So
I'm not quarreling about that, but I'm quarreling about adding this little furthermore here. You know, I think it was good that we, you know, and we did, we went with ISD and we did the transportation thing, and that was great. And we're gonna do more with the payroll, but I think that this little thing should be separate, you know, have a little resolution, okay, the Willow Run Community Schools is gonna meet with Ypsilanti Community Schools.
Yeah, it almost sounds like we should have had up to further as one motion or one acknowledgement, and then as the second one stating who we're going to start entering with by the first one stating IPSI.
that's point well taken, but that's what people sitting around the table agreed. I think what you're saying is what the intent of this was,
Okay.
that could be something bigger, but we're starting out with these two districts. We are the two districts that want to come and have a joint board meeting, and it might not even much might not come to it, but that's where that was the jumping off point, the starting point.
And this same resolution was given to Ypsilanti Public School too.
Well, that's okay.
I guess I'm not really clear, I'm not really clear where you're going with, why it should be separate.
I think Dorothy and I both agree that this makes it feel like we might be entering into an exclusive conversation with IPSI as opposed to this being the first conversation.
No,
Well, at first it is. I mean, it is exclusive to IPSI and Willow Run, with knowing that we are offering Lincoln Consolidated to come to the table.
but we have also previously passed a resolution saying that we're going to explore.
But it's always, as
This is
Dorothy has pointed
step
out,
2.
with neighboring school districts.
Right.
But the resolution we passed earlier, though, prior to tonight, was that we were going to start exploring different avenues for consolidation. This one now would be the step 2 that they are talking about, I believe, which is, we passed the first resolution saying that we're gonna start doing it. This is saying, okay, we're gonna start with IPSI.
Well, that's not what it says. You know, it doesn't say, first we will start with IPSI. It just says that the Willow Run Board of Education agrees to meet jointly with Ypsilanti Board of Education. Why don't we just have a separate little motion saying that the Willow Run Community School Board agrees to meet with Ypsilanti Community School Board on such and such a date
Well, I think what
to
we're,
discuss areas of.
and now flipping it to the other side of the conversation from Ms. Lisinsky's side, looking at this also gives us a refresher on the current state of why we need to consolidate.
And I have no
So,
problems with, you know, voting that first one again and then doing a number 2. That's,
The fact of